Want to? I won't post it on my page.
No, no,
I
no,
only have
fine, fine.
yours.
No, no, thank you, because I actually was a little bit timid on that one because, um, well, first to get acquainted, which
Of course.
I'm pretty familiar with your
Oh,
amazing, with your beautiful accounts of from a very deep acquaintance with non-duality and stuff, and it's pretty much from a Zoom meeting I followed the other day of yours, the first one actually
oh,
that I followed, I picked up on so many cues that was just so delightful because I've been down the same path, and although I'm 64 and I believe you're 83,
I
so
am.
you're some years ahead of that, you know. But but that doesn't mean anything actually, because as they say sometimes, the disciple that's not in the congregation, the one that's riding the bicycle and just passes the ashram at the right moment, picks up the quintessence of the message, you know.
Ah,
And yeah, so and there were so many things you said that were just rang a bell. And so I was a little bit timid on exposing, uh, particularly on exposing, and you did mention it yourself, that how so few people will. I don't use the word understand, but so many people will understand this
understand.
this pointing.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's understanding with a double with a capital in, as in inwards, you know.
I haven't heard that phrase. I like it.
Yeah, good one. Thanks.
Wonderful.
And understanding, yeah. Actually, understanding, by the way, just to mention it, is a very submissive terminology which is used in the mal-used in the English language, unfortunately, in a very dubious way in
Ah,
courts. That when you say to the judge, "I understand," you are automatically kneeling down to
meeting.
the to yeah to the law which is not of man, not not
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
common man law, which is the real law governed by nature, but which has been hijacked by these psychopaths that have been in power and still are as we speak. So I like to alter and not to be too fast on the trigger as we use cliches and all kinds of quotes and what have you, very, very habitually, very automatically,
Mm,
without giving a very careful step to step dismantling of the spoken word, and we use it so casually, and when we suddenly break it down, it's horrendous. It doesn't say anything about it doesn't transfer anything of the truth, as words don't. And of course, I was going to say to you, actually, where do we start? Something that doesn't have a beginning or doesn't have an end. It's and yet we humans we have an intriguing inquisitiveness I think from cradle to grave we are
mm,
constantly searching. And although at certain times I've said to myself that the search is over. And it is, in a way, it is, or certainly has lessened. Um, because, like yourself, I've been searching all the alleys you can think of. I personally know Tony Parsons, or Osho. I've been with for many years. I was with him when he was around, and uh, and I like to put in there, Michael, that I have to stand up for the emblematic figure that he was, because he never substituted ripping us away from our conditionings and programmings, and he never
mm.
substituted it for any dogma.
Ah,
So that for me is the utmost of non-duality, because it's not giving you any fodder,
no.
any kind of sweet little romantic substitution for the bare nakedness of there is nothing. It's just happening here and now.
Mm,
Nothing is can be taken away that hasn't been It's amazing. And I live in that permanent um, awe of not knowing what's happening next. Um, Nothing to lean on. No pedestals, nothing, nothing. It's just nothing.
Mm.
And I picked that up in your messages a lot, where you just pick people's brains. And I know you pissed off some people, which was lovely to see, by the way. Yeah, it was so good, man. I don't remember there was one gentleman that was telling you, no, you're hurting people with your, I mean, come on, man. How long, how long are people going to be holding on to their little teddy bears and their illusions, of a self, you know? Uh, you know, uh, so anyway, that's my little rant. Yeah.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I've
And you mentioned, sorry to just add, you mentioned in your other video there about your long journey
mm,
as a searcher yourself, and also I was particularly tickled by the you having three businesses, and then you went to the mountains, and your life kind of did an upgrade, as it were, in quality and fun and joy, and it's just what I'm living now, actually. Just to mention, I've been camping for 10 years deliberately in a
ah,
tropical paradise in Brazil, which is
ah,
very hard to get to, and I lived there purposefully to enjoy the simple rising and falling of the tide, and just surfing and living off my spearfishing, and
ah,
absolutely nizomaniac. And I did that for the one intent of not being distracted by all the cultural bullshit that tends to take us away from the essential core epiphany, of
mm,
just
mm,
being, not being someone, not going anywhere, just being, nothing more than that, which is Ramana Maharshi says so beautifully, that the greatest gift you can give to fellow humanity is yourself awakening, your
mm.
you know I mean, who would understand that in a progressive world where we're being demanded left, right, and center to be productive and useful, and you know it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. It takes a lot of courage, modestly speaking, but takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts and a lot of exhaustion to come to a point where you can see through all these veils and all this bullshit, that's been indoctrinated upon us, as you know,
Mm.
and be freed from it. And by the way, I've been in near death experiences, so I've almost been through the tunnel on the other side, and it took me into incredible heights of perception. I also like to say I've done the most potent DMT
Mm.
substance in the world, on the planet, called Bufo alvaris. And my
Buffalo, yes,
God,
the toad.
that the toad, my friend, that as a seeker, as a graduate of the pathless path, I can tell you, I beckon all my friends, do it before they leave this body, man,
Ah,
because it is beyond anything you can conceive, because you cease to exist.
mm,
The objective subjective relationship of duality ceases to exist, and the you don't become the watcher, you become everything. You become
mm,
the entirety of subject and objective. There is no split anymore. And I don't have to do it again,
mm.
because it's a one timer. You've seen it, you've seen it. There's no question about it. You've seen it. And then of course you could ask who's seen it. Well, that's it. You can't describe it in words.
There are Frank McGoffey had three. He and two of his friends licked the toad. Both Frank and one of the friends had the same experience that you did. This total void, this everything, death. And well, not death, because like you mentioned, there's nothing to die, but uh and one of the friends said, "Oh God, I wish I never would have taken this." Um, I think that wouldn't be for everybody. There are people that will spend what a life almost in a shadowland. Some people I'm sure are prepared for it, like yourself, who come back with this very much the same story. It's the end. It's the end of everything, and yet everything everything comes back in. I'm what I talk about, and probably a gentler way of saying that is that everything exists, everything exists only as an idea in this beautiful frontal cortex that we have. That's when you become everything. You live in a world of your unique named objects. Your objects are different than mine. I live in alone in my world, and you live alone in your world. And not everybody is ready for that. I carefully, when I talk to my wife, I don't mention that we are ultimately alone. And this longing, life's longing, doesn't go away. We are life's longing objectified. And something embraces. I personally think it's the brain or the cells in the frontal cortex. I get a lot of
Mm,
feedback who reject that, and that's okay with me. I don't care.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
they want something outside the brain, I think, or they imagine some source, some something outside of the brain. Of course, the way this brain sees it.
The tangible, something tangible.
Nothing, yeah, if it can't be objectified, we can't see it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
The Indians actually knew what the ships were when they first saw the first ships, but they just didn't know what they were.
yeah, yeah. Right.
You hear accounts of saying, yeah, they couldn't even see them because they didn't have a name for it, but
Yeah.
it was a big floating object to them, and they could certainly see it. Uh, I see humans as the jewel of manifestation. That objectification is the gift, where the universe gets a fleeting glimpse of its own wonder and majesty, where a surfer like yourself can watch waves and are perfectly content watching the waves. I said, we live on the ocean, and I'll see surfers your age sitting in a pickup watching the waves. Um, that's the way my life is. I fall in love everywhere I go. We were sitting in the waiting for our car to be serviced, and there was a couple that looked our age in our 80s. And I asked them if they wanted to wrestle. And they said, "What?" I said, "You guys want to wrestle?" My wife has a walker, and so did his wife.
What's what's a wrestle, Michael? What's it?
Wrestle is to like fight. You want to fight?
Oh, wrestle, a wrestle, a
Wrestle.
wrestle. All right, okay.
So that
All
opens the
right.
door. Uh,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Laughter, and then we started talking. And I said, "How long have you two known each other?" "Oh, we've been married for 52 years." I said, "Oh my God, isn't that great?" And then it was the most wonderful time. I fell in love with them. I literally fell in love with both of them. Um, and I make a little token, a little heart and hand that I give to people sometimes. And I gave them both one. And I told them I loved them, and they told me they loved me too. And my God, and everywhere I go, it's like that. I look at people, and I told the lady who waited at the restaurant we went to, I said, "You have the most beautiful complexion." She said, "Oh, thank you." And then the door opens, and you feel the light streaming in. I think we're a hologram that within the reflected light from those we meet. One man is no man. Um, this dancing hologram of self, of course, is an illusion, but it's the best illusion in the world. Through us, the universe gets a glimpse of how beautiful it is. No other animal sees beauty and love, but we do. Um, we'll never know who or what we are.
Yeah,
No one ever has or ever will. I love those people who have lived with Osho and um, oh God, all of the people. They literally fall in love with their guru. I think that's the first, can be the first step to start loving yourself.
yeah, 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 yeah. I love a lot of sayings from Nisargadatta as well. He's got
Oh God, yes.
amazing insights. And your fellow American Mark Twain
Oh yes, Mark Twain.
and Henry David Thoreau has one which has been my motto for so many years since I left the establishment, teared up my advanced level examinations in
Uh,
public school in England, and said I'm not having anything to do with being labeled A, B, C, D, or F for failed. I'm not in your establishment. I turned the table and I
yeah.
said, fuck that. And I went and lived the most amazing life that
Uh,
I'm so happy I lived. And I can say that when my time comes to die, to die, not the Australian to die. Did you come here to die? No. Like Henry David Thoreau said, I went to live in the woods deliberately and learn everything from that nature could teach me, and not
uh,
discover when I came to die that I had not lived.
that I had not lived.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I think surfers know this as well
very much,
as
very
anyone.
much.
Always looking for the perfect wave. Knowing, of course, there's no such thing. My son was
Yeah,
a ski racer. He competitive ski racer. And he was always looking for the perfect run, the perfect downhill run.
slope. Yeah,
There'll always be an edge that you didn't quite take right. There'll always be a slight curl to the wave that you could have maybe
tubes better.
tried. Um, I love that having lived. I had a stroke about 10 years ago, 12, and I was on the floor and the world was turning black, and I knew it was a stroke, and I thought I was dying. And my first thought was, oh my God, I've had the most wonderful life. Um, I've tasted life. I've done everything. I was an alcoholic from 16 to 29. So I've done everything that alcoholics do and everything they
Yeah,
try. And I don't
yeah,
regret a moment of it. I've, like you, have tasted life and it was good. And when it's over, there'll be no more.
yeah,
It's the thing you felt with the toad.
yeah.
Yeah. There's not
Mind
even,
you, mind you, mind you, Michael. It wasn't always good. I don't know if you meant that in a general sense of the meaning,
no.
but I know that bad and good doesn't exist, and I'm all with
Oh yeah.
the Tao,
Painful.
with the
Yes.
yin and yang, absolutely.
Oh God, yes. It was sometimes
But
terribly painful and
oh,
sometimes
terrible, terrible.
suicidal. Um,
Yes, me too, me too.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's part of life.
yeah.
The people who
They,
consider suicide.
yes, are the most intelligent in the world. It's just the idiots that do it.
Yeah, why would you want to live feeling this way?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Without the possibility of suicide, we'd go insane. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
no way
Mm-hmm.
out. It would be terrible. And people who want to live forever, I'd say, well, that's not a billion years like the
Yeah.
Scientologists
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
up for. This
Yeah.
is forever. It
Yeah.
isn't a
Yeah.
billion
Exactly.
years. It's
Yeah.
forever. That would be
There's
hell.
a, there's Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit in this longevity thing as well. And
Oh,
I'm totally with Osho there saying, live your age with dignity, grow
yeah,
old dignantly. Stop
yeah,
trying to hold on to your youth. Live your youth when it was meant to be lived,
yeah.
Otherwise you're looking like these, 70-year-old men with big gold chains and fat stomachs with these 17-year-old chicks. I mean,
And
come
black
on, wake the fuck up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be young again for anything. They
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Oh,
do it when you're supposed to do it for Christ's sake, kind of thing.
oh yeah.
And I'm happy I did that. I'm
Oh
happy I
yeah.
cried when I cried. I was miserable when I
Oh,
was miserable.
oh
I
God.
went through the geography of the heights of the Alps and the Satori and the epiphanies
Oh
I
yeah.
had,
Yeah.
and the dulgeons and the deep, deep
Yeah.
abysses of despair. God Almighty, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I had a lot of fun. Um, but a lot of sadness, a lot of broken
Yeah,
hearts.
yeah, true.
Life is, yeah, I think, oh, sometimes I talk about the Dalai Lama never having experienced life. And I don't do that because I just like the Dalai Lama. I do it to try to um, stimulate people to say, oh, you shouldn't say that about the Dalai Lama. How they reinforce their beliefs, how they cling on to an idea or an ideal. And and I don't care about the Dalai Lama. I don't.
Yeah,
What I
me
say
neither.
is always trying to stir the pot. It's always
Yeah, yeah,
trying to rattle the cage a little bit
yeah,
to get the mind, because like you said, there's nothing that can really be said about this.
yeah.
Um, the Surgadata, I wore out two copies of I Am That.
Hmm.
Wrote in the margins, dog-eared and underlined. I underlined so much. I thought, well, this is stupid. I'll just underline the things I don't like,
Yeah,
which is hard.
yeah, you do a good one, good one. Yeah, yeah,
It's not as easy
yeah,
as it sounds. Um, oh, who else? Oh, Ashtavakar Gita. I just
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Beautiful,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. I had a deliberate decision I made when I was in my teens still.
Uh,
I was living in outback rural, a very, very tropical paradise in a place called Bahia, the state of Bahia in Brazil.
oh,
And I was spearfishing. I had a boat. I used to go out to the open ocean and live the carpe diem completely. I've had shark attacks. I've had shipwrecks. I've had everything. I've been surfing with whales. I've been diving with whales, sharks, marlins, whatever you can think about. I've done it. And the connection, the nature connection was so intense. There was absolute no mind experience. There was no mind whatsoever. I've looked into a humpback whale's eye, 1 meter from my face, and that big bull, like a size of a dish plate, just rolling and looking at me.
oh,
And I went into another realm. I
of
went into
course,
another realm,
of course.
you
What a
know.
beautiful experience.
Yeah, and she, the mother, let her calf, which was 4 or 5 times the size of my 5 meter boat, she let her calf play with me, which wasn't such a delightful experience for
Oh,
my two mariners that were on my boat. They were shitting themselves, man, and they were
oh my
praying
God. Oh my
every
God.
Our Father who art in heaven. They were on their knees,
Oh,
beckoning
yeah.
for whatever. And I
Oh,
was laughing my head off, man, laughing my head off as this whale was just kicking the hull of the boat up and down, just bobbing along, with its tail on the hull of the boat and almost sinking us.
oh my
And
God.
no, it was delightful. But what I was going to say was that there was a deliberate um, motion, a different effort or non-effort rather, to not read anything. I started to not read anything. I thought to myself, wait a minute, books are other people's experiences. They're granted that, they have a right to it, but I want mine. And I don't want to be tainted or influenced in any way. Just to mention it, Osho's read over 2,000 and 50,000 books. He said, I've read the authors, they are the mirrors of your mind, you
Mirrors
know,
of your
and I
mind.
love that.
I
But
think
I somehow just reclined from that and said, wait a minute, I'm not doing this intellectually. I'm going to live my own life thoroughly and completely intensely and see what I can sign of it,
Mm.
or the signature I can give to it. And nowadays, it's such a happy thing to meet you, Michael, because I swear to you, I haven't got on my one hand, I haven't got people that I can have a true, open, vulnerable,
Yeah.
and deep and high talk about non-duality or Buffo or the void or
Sure. Sure.
I just don't have it, and I miss it. I do. I really miss it. And
Uh,
it's not mental gymnastics or anything. It's the delight in celebrating
it
the
is.
nothingness. It's celebrating the human factor.
It is.
Um,
It is.
um, and also, I find it the most liberating message. I have a group. I made a WhatsApp group about 8, 9 years ago,
Ah.
and it's meaning it was something it came sparked out of just wanting to share that something that was overflowing in me. I couldn't hold it back.
Mm.
It
No.
wasn't my right to hold it back. And I started sharing it, and we were groups of 10, 15 people. I'd invite them to a place, and we would sit there on the beach or in the hall of someone's hotel room or something. And I would ask questions and go about asking, "Who are you?" and really take it into an inquiry kind of live interrogation, and oh, because I'm feeling this and that, very blasé, very
Yeah.
random, talk, nothing in any way pious or anything like that. And it was amazing that in 10 minutes, you could deconstruct someone completely, have their jaw
Mm.
completely agape, their eyes watering, and the
Mhm.
sudden meeting with their emptiness, with their true
Mm.
self, the
Mm.
interrogation, the question mark above the head, the innocence of the child shining. There's nothing more splendid than that, to me,
No.
in my eyes at least.
No. No.
The
Um,
innocence, the
that's
return
why
to innocence.
you'd think after seeing this that there'd be nothing to share, but it's not an option. Um, I This idea that life is a mirror in our mind, that the hologram of us, the hologram of the self, your hologram, whatever. Again, these are just what hints, but and Ben, I know that you know this. The light from you is becoming part of who I am. Um, the light from another human being, when they start to catch on fire, you can see it, you can watch it, and quite often tears will come. Uh,
Yes,
I think they're getting a glimpse of their own beauty through you, through your loving them unconditionally and seeing them as fully human, made all the
yes,
mistakes that every human makes and fallen down and got up and they,
yes,
they've
yes.
been to war and they say,
Yes, yes. Not painting it with this sort of this do goody goody,
no,
kind of
no,
lens. Horrible. You're
no,
really saying, hey guys, I almost committed suicide 5 times. Okay,
yeah,
guys, I've been there. I know what it's about.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
um, yeah. Who is it? Oh, Walt Whitman said he loves the smell
Yeah.
of his own armpits.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a human,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
raw humanness. I love being human,
Yeah.
in all of its complexities and all of its joys and sorrows and griefs and successes and failures and the whole spectrum. And if you, any human being that you meet has been, had their heart broken, uh, and has grieved someone so much that they feel half gone, that there's a gaping hole in their hearts. Um, you fall in love with everyone.
Yes. Very
The
true.
freshness of a toddler you fall in love with, but what you love more was it said? Oh, I think Whitman again said, "I love the young women, but I love the older women more. The ones with some life and toughness, and I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you start to see your own beauty through them. That's falling in love. That's falling in love with yourself. Uh,
Do you remember? You remember Genesis when the group Genesis when Peter Gabriel was part of the group? Do you remember those years? The Peter Gabriel, the singer Peter Gabriel
I
from
do.
Genesis, the group
Yes,
Genesis.
of course.
When they were all together, for me, Peter Gabriel was the I would say the heart of Genesis at the time. Phil Collins became very commercial, very good, but very commercial after that. Peter Gabriel had a saying in one of his "The Lamb Lies Down" on Broadway: "You've got to get in to get out."
Hmm, that's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
you have to step into life to realize you have to. Someone said that the door to heaven is just a little on the other side of hell, which is saying the same thing.
yeah,
You have to be fully
yes.
immersed in life before you realize that you don't exist at all. Um,
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like a bad joke, doesn't it? You know, we're
it,
born absolutely perfect. You know, we're perfect. We're totally in unison. You know, and then all of us, you know, we're living in a total harmony in the placenta. Everything's fine. No
yeah,
taxes. No,
yeah,
you know. And then suddenly we're thrown into the dimension where we were dawned upon non dawned upon duality,
yeah,
and we see mummy feeding me, and then we see dog and dog and me, so the duality starts increasing, and then we go in this incredible cyclonic trip, you know, of you know, of ups and downs and this and
yeah,
that and hot and
yeah.
cold, and then we come back to this point of return
Hmm.
where we have this, or not, because I remember Osho always used to say, if you've lived totally and intensely, you will die beautifully. You will
Ah,
have a good death.
yes.
And as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, probably not a reincarnation. You won't come into the wheel of samsara, you know. You'll be
No.
liberated because you've lived every opportunity in this existence. You've lived every polarity possible. You've burned it up. There's no more wood to burn, and now it's a smokeless fire, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Um, in hospice training, they take you through the hospice I was in. They take you a group of 20 people or so, and they lead you into your own death. A trained psychologist or psychiatrist does, and you're lying in bed, and life is getting softer around the edges, and
Yeah,
takes 20 minutes or so. So you're just gradually relaxing into your own death. And in our case, he said, "There's someone touching your forehead. Who is that?" And I thought, oh, it was my son touching my head. My son and I love each other so much. Um, and that's what I did hospice for years. And I kissed the foreheads of people as they were dying and swabbed their mouth with cotton swabs and put cool washcloths on their heads. And I never had a bad death. I never saw someone struggling or
or
fighting.
hold, or, yeah, or clasping their fists like the I've seen someone clasping their fists.
No, yeah, that's sad. Yeah, I've seen a lot of death, and it's always been a relaxing and a dissolving and a disappearing. And you
Yeah.
get this empty shell, and you think, oh my goodness,
Mm.
a whole story of their life. Oh my God, the stories you hear. I had a lot of veterans, Vietnam and even World War II veterans. I think most of them are all gone now. But the stories you hear, and then you fall in love, and they literally become part of who you are. Um, that's what we are, is the memories. of encounters. It's so beautiful. I think Earth, as far as we know, or ever will know, is the only place where life evolved. There'll be nothing like us anywhere in the universe. There couldn't be. When you look at our evolution from a funny little rat-like creature after that got its start after the dinosaurs were wiped out and evolved
Yeah,
into this great ape that learns a language, a complex language, and to objectify and create an imaginary separation where love and beauty exist. It's so strange. It's so beautiful. That's the way I see it, the way this brain sees it.
yeah,
But it doesn't need any of that anymore. Like you said, those are just stories.
yeah.
I listen to people's beliefs and some of them are so convinced that that's the way it is.
My God. Oh my God. I have I have come to I won't say conclusion, there's nothing conclusive about anything, everything changes, ever changing, but and this isn't recent, but it's become ever more affirmative. I think that everything we've been told and taught, and I've been through the Prussian education system
Mm,
in UK, in England, and I believe me, it is the system at large. It is the macro reactive system of Machiavellic control, which we're under right now. I'm very aware of it. I've been 40 years investigating into Illuminati and all the
yeah,
bullshit, the
yeah.
psychopaths that are controlling the world because they're so unloved and so miserable that they have to pull everyone into their misery,
Mm,
together. And and of course, I'm not just pointing a finger out there at them. I'm saying it is part of our collective story and our
sure,
identification with,
sure.
you know. So there's nothing that's separate, as it were. But this one here is retaliating full speed ahead against any kind of totalitarian dictatorship control, which is what's happening in Brazil now, by the way.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for Trump to kick ass down here and get these
Yeah.
motherfuckers out of because it is just so ridiculous, man.
Uh,
But the people that well, it's a long story. The votes were stolen. It's the same, communist bullshit. But anyway, I'm pretty convinced that our whole history and everything we were taught is a lie.
mm,
And I mean everything about the moon, NASA, all the fictions that were told, the Masons, the Club of Rome, the whole hierarchy, the whole monarchy. It is one big retarded and very well crafted. I have to take my hats off device to enslave mankind. And then, if you want to go a bit deeper down the rabbit hole, we're talking about the archons, the reptilians, the other races, and stuff. I'm totally open to that. I really think that
mm,
there are things so beyond our understanding, and which is refreshing as far as I'm concerned, because
mm,
in my nothingness, in my not knowing anything, everything is possible. And that gives me a tremendous freedom to not have to always be smart all the time and arrogant and
mm.
that I know something. I rather live in my not knowingness. Absolutely,
I
and
see.
retrieve.
I see what you're
Sorry, yeah,
saying. Um, Although society couldn't work if it were filled with people like you and me. Um, I wouldn't vote for someone like me to hold any office.
yeah,
Uh, I would. Um,
yeah,
those people who study ants see an anthill as one living organism. Each ant is a cell within that organism. And humanity, I think, is very much the same. It's not directed or chosen by anyone. It's what a pulsating living entity, um, and no plan, No one decides to do something. Uh, but that's the way it's been since man was created, since humans evolved. A bunch of chimpanzees will get together and kill the chimpanzees next to them. Um, we're territorial, but humanity, there'll never be peace on Earth.
Yeah,
It's always been wars. My uncle said he didn't want much except the land adjoining his. Um, we always want more. We're hungry, hungry ghosts. And
mm,
that's, I think, part of the beauty of humanity is it functions. It may destroy itself here, but that happens too. We had a pretty good
yeah,
run. But I don't see it as bad. I don't see it as an evil person at the top planning anything. I see it as one pulsating living organism. Each country, each state, in a way, uh, particularly each country. Look how Canada doesn't want to become the 51st state.
yeah, yeah,
Trump is
yeah,
doing, I think, just to provoke. Just
yeah,
I
yeah.
like Trump. No,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very few seekers do. I've
I
lost
know.
so many friends.
Yeah,
Oh,
me too. Me too. But I don't know if they were friends really. But you know,
yeah, he's fearless. I love what he did in the South
yeah,
African
yeah. You know,
president.
a well self-made rich man
Yeah,
is not going to be doing what he's doing for money. So
no,
he's doing
no.
it for something else, man.
Yeah,
He's
I
doing it some,
know.
you
But
know.
again, he's choiceless. None of us have a
Yeah,
choice.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
the self doesn't really exist to have a choice. Um, I go through my day acting as if I have a choice, knowing I don't. And that's the freedom that you talk about. Uh,
yeah.
you can't change and don't want to. Um, your life, you do speak Portuguese?
Yes, I do.
Oh my. Oh, so you live in two worlds. There's words you
Yeah,
have
yeah. Yeah,
that
sometimes the English comes difficult to me, actually. There's some expressions that are much more
elegant.
effective, much more in Portuguese than in English, but it's I'm
I can
holding
only
both.
imagine. Yeah. I love that idea. I can't experience it. I don't have the interest in time it takes to learn a new language and live
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I think learning it from a book is pretty hollow, but when you go down into the culture and the music and the heartbeat of South America,
yeah.
um, God, to taste that must be glorious.
Yeah, no, it was. I lived the most glorious years in Rio de Janeiro before it became the city metropolis that it is now. I lived it in the most amazing years. I think that it will never be again, of course,
No, no, of
but
course.
absolutely splendid, amazing. The samba, the music, yeah, the oh, amazing, amazing,
Oh,
incredible,
beautiful women, beautiful.
beautiful. My God, man, my God, incredible.
My son was
Hot
there
women.
for a wedding. One of his friends married one of those beautiful women, and he went down there and he fell in love with the people. Uh,
On
the
every corner.
Oh God, and also the ladies at the party would come up to him and hug him and talk to him, and it made him a little nervous because he wasn't used to that. And
Yeah, yeah,
they said,
yeah,
"Oh no, we
yeah.
didn't mean to offend you. We're just Brazilians."
Yeah, yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah.
Yes. I
I
love
hugged a woman. I hugged a woman in because I'm very Brazilian in a sense. I mean,
uh,
I was born in Pakistan. I lived in India for
uh,
7 years and stuff. But when I came to Brazil when I was 7 years old, at a beautiful time as well, I became very Brazilian in my ways and and caught on the practices and stuff like that. So
uh,
I'm a very hugging kind of person.
yeah,
It's so natural,
me too.
you know
Yeah.
and also with Osho, we always hugging for minutes on end. You know, Osho
Really?
said that your body does not reach or contact another for less than 30 seconds. So, who do you know that hugs for 30 seconds? Even
I
30
mean,
seconds, man.
My,
Nobody, man.
yeah, I
So
do.
there's no
Uh,
community. There's no community. Yeah, you probably do, but there's no connection, man. And in
no.
Brazil, we do. When I was living in Norway, in an ashram there of Osho's bodyguard, Swaha, who's now in Brazil as well. And I lived there for a while, and I had a Norwegian girlfriend, and this, that, and the other. And we did a job once painting houses in a condominium, very rich, luxurious condominium in part of Norway during the summer. Short-lived, 2 weeks of summer. But anyway, it was amazing, and we got got some cash in our pockets and stuff. And there was a Brazilian, the World Cup was on, and Brazil was playing. I don't know who it was at the time, and we were able to watch the match in this Norwegian elderly couple's home. And so imagine six, seven, eight Brazilians watching a Brazilian football match. Man,
Oh my
the
God.
place just it got caught on
Roar.
fire, you know. And these Norwegians had never seen anyone laugh out loud.
Oh my God.
They are so clamped in, so cold and so contracted, contracted
Yeah.
and 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 we were all screaming and shouting, and they'd never seen so much happiness and so much festivity. And then this is a true story, man. I went to the woman when we left afterwards, saying thank you for hosting us and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And I went to the woman and I hugged her. She fainted. They
No.
had to call the ambulance because she
Oh.
fainted because I hugged her, man.
Oh my God. Oh my
So much
God.
love. She just couldn't take the
Couldn't bear.
affection.
Oh my
And then
God.
and then you think to yourself, the problem with the world is the lack of affection.
That's
You know,
true. It's
it's
true.
nowhere else to be found, nowhere else to be cured. We are these simple creatures that need love to survive, and if you don't
Yes.
give it, we can find all kinds of poor substitutions, but
Oh,
it will
shoot.
never meet, you know,
No.
the you
No.
know the healing.
Yeah. If you notice when you hug someone, you kind of put your heart to their heart.
Yes,
You-
yes,
Yeah. I hug a lot. Yeah, you can tell when somebody's not ready to be hugged.
stiff.
And there's a lot of
Yes,
stuff
stiff.
you can tell when they're ready. And
Yes, yes,
I just, and I tell people I love them.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll go like this,
yeah,
like say, I don't know, and that's okay with me. They
yeah,
can't, but you can feel my best friend who now has Alzheimer's disease and gradually disappearing was a philosophy professor. And I met him in Alcoholics Anonymous, and he wanted to be his sponsor. And he'd come out and talk to me. And when he would leave, I'd say, "I love you." Nothing. He'd just keep walking. Maybe a year went by. I'd say, "I love you." His name was Sundog. I love you, Sundog. One day he turned around and said, "I love you too." And it was so one of the best days of my life.
yeah, yeah,
And then 30 years we've known each other, and we've talked like this. And but the strangest thing, I'm not going to miss him because he's literally part of who I am. Um, we grew old together over 30 years and shared so much. But it isn't going to be a missingness. It's not going to. I had him. I still have him in my heart. Like I mentioned, you are becoming part of who I am. Your stories, your surfing, your freedom, your experiences. Um, but if everyone lived like you, we couldn't live. We need farmers, we need merchants, we need bankers, we
yeah,
need presidents, and all that stuff works together and it's so interrelated.
Mm,
I listen to people with these political and social ideas, and one of the stories that I talk is when, like Don Quixote, within each windmill is 100 million other little windmills. Every solution, we've given in America so much money to the poor,
yeah.
and we have more poor now than ever. It's giving money away to the poor doesn't help them.
No, no.
Uh, Helps us feel good about ourselves.
Yes, in a very, yeah. Mm,
Mm. But all of these issues have no, what, they're just much too complicated for the
yeah.
objectifying mind to try to conquer with simple remedies. And all the beliefs that people have, and I've talked to people for years, and they still think that there's such a thing as consciousness and awareness, and they think that they're going to live after they die, and because they had one or two out of body experience.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh God! For
yeah.
years, uh, my brother called up one time and said, "I can't get out of the body and I can't get back in." And I thought he was going a little crazy, so I started doing research. Only about 4 or 5 books were out then, and so I started playing with out of body experiences. And I did that, played with lucid dreaming and out of body. I really thought I could leave the body because it's so real. Like your toad experience is very real. Um, but it's not, we can't leave our body. There's no us to leave the body. Um, there's a German scientist, Thomas Metzinger, who's had an
Mhm.
out-of-body experience and has a wonderful explanation of what happens, and he explains it very well. And but to me, what it did was tell me or give an indication how beautiful this brain is, how creative. I mean, we're the top of millions of years of survivors. All of our genes survived over through the plains of Africa and up through the Middle Ages and through the caves of Europe. We're the top of the top. We are the best genes that of the survivors. We're the top. We're the best of the best. And we're worried about trivia. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that my cat is the boss of the house. I can tell you
Oh
that.
God. I want a cat. My wife doesn't like dogs or cats, and
Really?
a
Oh my
loving,
God.
yeah, and that's okay with me. We're 50-50, and
Yeah.
so if she doesn't, we've just had 60 years of bliss. I love her more now.
Right. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
But I watch people like yourself with their cat and how much they love them and how
Oh, yeah.
much they relate to them and fall in love. I love pit bulls.
Right.
Oh, but that's okay with me. I had a pet otter once.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
God, he was just brilliant. Oh God, they're so smart, so
There was
loving.
that. What was that book called? Ring on Bright Water. Ring of
Yeah.
Bright Water.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what convinced me I wanted one.
Wow. There's so what a nature is in me.
Oh,
I'm convinced that if unless man returns to his
oop.
essential nature, we're doomed. We're doomed, and we're doomed for this whole transhumanism bullshit and
Yeah.
all this robotic fucking life. No, no,
Yeah.
gone, gone.
Yeah.
This is. I'm so you can't believe it, man. I am the New World Order's worst nightmare, man. You know, if
Yeah.
I could have my way, man, I have Gates and Fauci and all these people hung in public. Man, I tell you that these are
Oh, he was
honest
a
to God.
mess. Yeah.
Good, good God, man. I have a hard time trying to accept that this is existence working, what's the word? Not an in a complementary, as in antagonism, in a complementary way. This is the pendulum of Kali Yoga. This is, I can go along with a lot of that, but as I say, as a good friend of mine who's been in the same lineage of searching and stuff for many years. It's consciousness expressing itself in in
Yeah.
different polarities. Okay, I'm okay with that. But I have to say that this one here, this me, I, Nick, or whatever it is, entity, is definitely not going to comply
No.
with any kind of you shall have nothing and be happy bullshit, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And
Um,
I will be like, I will be like what's his name? The director, one of the few that didn't sell his heart to Hollywood. Um,
oh,
oh,
there's
what's it?
there's several. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be, like the Patriot, Mel Gibson. I will be quartered and whatever you want to call it, but I am not going to sell my soul, man.
Yeah.
That is for sure, man.
I guess Cano
What?
Reeves is like that too. All the people that Cano Reeves has worked with, uh,
Yeah,
love him, and he rides the bus and is kind
yeah,
to people, and
yes, yes,
yeah, there's that, but there are very few. Um, I find although I have political beliefs, I'm a Republican, and I like Trump, but I don't really. We as human beings, we cannot exist without beliefs because I think the person is nothing but beliefs.
yeah. The persona, you mean? No?
Persona, yes, the
Yeah,
self.
persona.
That's of I
Yeah,
am.
yeah,
Um, so we cannot function without beliefs. We cannot function without the belief in choice. But it's possible to take them all, as you said, as just beliefs. They're not.
yeah,
They're meaningless. And I get fired up about politics, and I get, but then I laugh at myself and I think, oh, just another belief. But
yeah,
I still have them. That's who I am. And I think people who think about enlightenment as being free of beliefs and free of all the travails of life, which is true in a way. I don't worry about anything. But it's fun living with. Oh, I talked to Nancy Nethercutt for many years.
yeah, yeah. She's great. I followed her a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we met on the Surrogate Auto list
Oh,
and
nice, nice.
both kicked off.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. She's great, man. She's great.
Yeah. And then I'd meet her somewhere else. She was called Wind Dancer. Then I didn't know if it was male or female, but I knew that everything that she wrote I liked. And yeah, she's a fire little thing. I love her.
Yeah.
Lost contact with her, but and that's okay too.
Yeah,
People
yeah, me too.
come
Yeah.
and go.
Oh, I just wanted to say something, Michael. Talking about this not missing someone and this that, and the other. Something that's held true to me up to today has been the following. I never go to what do you call it? Funerals and stuff like
Mm,
that. I didn't
mm,
go to my mum's funeral. I was in Brazil and she was there, so couldn't do much about it. But neither my dad and I don't wouldn't go to anyone's funeral. And I just like to make this very clear. Um, Life is to be lived here and now, and if we don't live with the people that have come our way or are in our way or together on our way, totally and intensely, we live a debt. We leave a debt, and if that debt is the tears that run down people's cheeks in funerals. It is a remorse of not having lived when it was possible to live intensely and
mm.
totally with that person. And
Yeah.
I'm so clear about that, that I
Mm,
don't waste a moment to live what I can live with someone. Of course, it has been a little bit on the um, what's the word? I've been a little bit held back lately because the amount of so-called friends or acquaintances that I've lost due to political choices,
Oh.
and not only political choices, but God damn it, things like getting vaxxed and jabbed and stuff. I have not been jabbed. I will not be jabbed because I know it's a genocidal procedure, and I've lost so many people because of this choice,
Mm.
and so obviously I'm not reaching out to connect with many people, and now existence has it that I've left the coastline. I've come up 3 hours into the mountains, and I'm living in the cold mountains here in the south of Brazil,
Wow.
making my organic food and doing
Oh,
projects and hibernating now that it's winter. It doesn't get
yeah.
snowy or anything, but it gets 1 degree under a
Well,
little bit. But what I'm saying is everything changed, and I'm suddenly in this sort of uh, um, um, isolated and introspective, not communicating, not going out there, not sharing non-duality, not posting anything. I haven't posted for ages now on anything on Facebook or Instagram, and I did prolifically for many years, sharing my observations and non-duality and the group that I had as well, which was fabulous.
hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to say that I've made. Not I have made, but people have fallen into themselves, collapsed into themselves on numerous occasions because of the simple pointing,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
and and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. But right now, I'm totally quiet, retrieved, and
Yeah.
I don't care for anything else other than these personal, intimate, like chats
Yeah.
we're having, which have, kind of become a flame in a way
Uh,
because
I hear
such a
you.
joy,
I
such a
hear
joy
you.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's trading. I think it's um Rumi says light on light. Um,
Yes.
no one
Yeah.
knows what happens to light when two mirrors face each other.
Yes, yeah,
It's a mystery. Does it bound back and forth or
yeah.
it's everything, well, even calling it a mystery is giving it a label. Um, I live in that blank toadness half the time. I
Great.
half of my world is totally blank. Um,
You've
but
done the toad, by the way.
no, I haven't. I've never
Oh, you
used
haven't.
psychedelic. Um, I use
Ayahuasca, anything like that? I do it often. I just have to be very, very scientific here to anyone that might listen. Ayahuasca and bufo are entheogenous substances, which
ah,
means they are not psychedelic in the sense that they bring
okay.
upon an outside illusion. They instigate and they amplify what we already have and are.
Ah, okay.
I'm very clear about that.
That
They
makes
are
sense.
not, yes, they are sacred medicines. I mean, everything's
Ah,
sacred. Nothing is unsacred, of course, but they are sacred healings. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that they are
ah,
sacred retrievals of our sacred geometry and I mean, look at a sunflower and look at, it's
hmm,
incredible. This
yeah,
sacred geometry is all around. And this for
everywhere.
me, you know,
Yeah,
uh,
fractals, fractals
if you ever have an opportunity, and I know you're in California, I know it's more like Arizona, Mexico, and stuff like that. But if you have the opportunity, just know that Uncle Nick here has said that you should do it.
I will. I will try it.
Man,
Yeah,
it's just
it's before I die, I'll tell my
yeah, yeah, so-called die, yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
yeah, before I die again. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just because life is inquisitive. Humans are the most inquisitive, and it doesn't frighten me. My wife, of course, is against all that, and I can understand that. She spent too many years with an alcoholic. But yeah, I've wanted to try mushrooms too, but
Oh, mushrooms are great. Incredible substance. Incredible, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah,
Peyote, mescaline. Man, this is
yeah.
sacred medicine from
You
the
read
Incas.
Castaneda and Don Juan?
Yeah,
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 I love those books.
yeah.
Yeah, all seven of them.
Man,
Jeez,
ah,
yeah, he was quite something. Uh,
man, incredible. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, life is incredible. Uh,
yeah.
uh,
I've had Satori's. I think that's the right description. It's
yeah,
not enlightenment in the
yeah,
sense that it's a continuum, but it's a window, a glimpse into the
yes,
eternity.
yes,
And so I have no problem whatsoever in saying I've had Satori's. I mean, it sounds like this mystical thing, the
yeah,
star on top of the Christmas tree type of thing. But no, no, just complete, absolute dropping into the absoluteness, indivisionless, unfathomable here and now, as Osho
mhm,
calls thisness, this, a thousand times this,
yes.
at the tongue tip taste of Tao,
Sun-kissed, yes, those are
the,
the.
the no, the tongue tip taste
Mm. Yeah.
of Tao.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful. That's one of his books, one of his 10,000 books
Ah, tongue tip taste of Tao.
of Tao. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Osho for me he still is the absolute. My God, what a blessing! I feel so blessed
Ah,
to have been called to India at the time of his passing, and I was with him 3 months before he left his body. What a celebration that was! I cannot
ah,
describe
ah,
the heights of bliss that were lived in the burning ghats. I was 2 meters away from his burning ghats. I even got some of his flowers, some of his embers. I,
yeah.
I kept some of his embers on the thing as
Ah,
just as a token of gratefulness that I have
yeah.
for someone who came as the greatest rebel that I know of
Yeah.
hit this planet. Man,
Oh,
was
yeah.
was Osho.
Yeah. Yeah. He was very unique, such beautiful eyes. Um,
Yeah.
I met a couple that had spent years with him, and they were very much like you, full of light and quiet gentleness and warmth, and um, they live a life of peace, quiet, and met several couples over the years who, one in Big Bear when we lived in the snow. It's a ski resort. We spent 20
Mm,
years there. But I met a young couple who were still wearing purple, out of gratitude, I believe. Well, yeah,
mhm.
out of love. Um, yeah, a very, very bright light in the world. Um, I believe each of us have that. It's just the humanness, just the
Eh, And
playfulness.
yeah, but there's a lot of layers of conditioning, and I remember Osho talking about the psychology of the human, um, uh, and more so the modern human, because when you were cutting wood and getting water from the well in those days, you didn't have the kind of neurosis that we're suffering now, and you were automatically Zen, whether you knew it or not, but um, he would say that. I lost my thing. Never mind, never mind. But it's just about the very naked simplicity of
Mm.
no mind and the meditations that he created, which were specifically uh, ordained for or prescribed for the neurosis we're suffering, like the catharsis of dynamic meditation, which I did for 3 months. You were advised to do it for 21 days in the ashram, and it would change your life completely because you would have the first glimpses of no mind, of absolutely thoughtless spacelessness, and without a thought, the pauses in between, which is difficult when the mind is operating the the scenario the whole time in trying to be in control. And uh, those meditations that he did, which I um, did many groups of using them and everything, have amazed like gibberish meditation where you utter nonsensical sounds for 45 minutes nonstop without a breath at stake. You are so empty at the end. You're just complete void. You're just a channel for existence, and
Mm,
there's no interference. And this is just um, is something that people are in general are so cultivated with their traditions and their so-called pseudo-education, and this is what the Russian education, of course, is all about, and which I went through in the UK at a very early age. They just want you to be an obedient, uh, um,
mhm.
abide by the law, do what you're told, don't argue, don't question, and become just a little slave, just a little
Sure.
obedient, a boy with a blazer and
Mhm,
tie and have the haircut like everyone else and do
mhm.
the job and get married and do all the fucking bullshit, and yeah, man, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough, but
Yeah.
I got tired of it at 9 years old. I ran away from my first boarding school, and then I ran away from my second boarding school until my fucking parents could understand that, hey, I'm not having this shit anymore. Can
Yeah.
you? My father, bless his soul, he was such an adventurer. He climbed Everest, almost got to the top, did Matterhorn. He was a adventurous man. I loved him for it, but he had the old British, stiff upper lip in him still, and he
Mhm.
he sent me to school from Brazil at the time when I was living, and from India as well. And I have traveled 20 times around the planet just going to school.
Mm.
That's my school bus. And I said to him at one point, I said, man, have you ever thought if you had got the money you spent to me going to fucking school to learn bullshit about nothing, you could have bought me a trimaran yacht and I would have done 10 books by now about living on the ocean and it's what a
Yeah.
waste of money, man. But you see, there again, we're all subject to this conditioning, and unless we break the conditioning, unless we're um, courageous enough to break the link in the chain,
Very
and say,
few.
hey, I'm not having this, man. And I did that at a very young age.
Very few. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
We couldn't have strawberries or tomatoes or a stock market or bank. We couldn't go to the grocery store and buy food. Society is this huge, complex automaton. And a few people can see that. Thank goodness, very few. Um, yeah, I'm glad to come across one another who can see through the veil of it all and see how beautiful the machinery is, and knowing that we're part of it.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Osho, I was thinking of outside of Las Vegas, they have a huge solar plant with it looks like maybe 100 acres of solar panels, all focused on the center of in the center of a tower, and that creates such heat and that generates electricity. It also kills every bird that flies through it and every insect.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah, they think it's free power. But I was thinking of the light of someone around Osho. Um, Whatever the light that he was, and all the people around him focusing their love on him, and then him radiating that light, that heat, that love that you felt and still feel. That image came to mind of this huge solar plant, that he would be nothing without all of those people who loved him. Uh,
Yeah.
Someone who spends all of their life in a cave never experiences what you have. never tasted, never had life on the tip of their tongue.
Except for Romana, of course.
Well, yeah, he transitioned when he was a teenager. He
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he had kind of a stupor he spent his whole life in. I think I don't I never related too much to him. Um, he was unique, but I don't think he'd been to war like you have.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I don't think the Dalai Lama has been to war like you have. And everybody says, "Oh, he gets kicked out of Tibet and all this stuff." But Tibet
Y-
under the Dalai Lama
Yeah, but I'd
was
just like to say that Dalai Lama seems to be on board with the New World Order, just like Sadhguru. I'm not too happy with that, so I can tell you that for starters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think everything he says sounds hollow to me. Uh,
Yeah, no, I don't follow.
Vaguely, no.
I
Uh,
don't fall for it.
no.
I've hugged. We have a Brazilian master here called. His name is what's his name? What's, well, I was thinking of Sai Baba as well, but Sai Baba's a bullshit.
Oh,
Osh
yeah.
used to call Osh used to call him the Indian David Copperfield.
Oh
But
my
anyway,
God, yeah.
we have a Brazilian guy. I forget his name right now, but anyway, I've been with him. I've been in his satsang. I hugged him, and I did not feel anything.
Isn't
And the
that
guy
something?
is, he's a physicist. He knows his talk. He knows his walk. Blah blah blah. But I don't buy. I just don't buy it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter, man.
No. Ah, ah, ah. Who else? Oh, the lady who hugs everybody.
Oh yeah,
Amma.
yeah,
Amma.
Amma, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I know a lady in England, Jacqueline. God, I forgot her name. I love her. She said
yeah.
she stood in line for 2 hours, and then she finally got close to Amma. Somebody shoved her head up against the big wet spot on her chest,
Yeah.
and she said she smelled really bad. And she said she left there thinking, "What the hell did I do that for?"
It's good. That's a good awakening. That's a good
Yeah,
Zen
that's a
kick on the
good
head.
awakening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
good one.
yeah. I think that those people, it's almost like a group hysteria can
Yeah,
create this thing. Um, but it's real. It's as real as anything else.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
it's us. It's all us. The
yeah.
Osho, the only Osho you can ever know has always been only in your own brain. Uh,
That's true. Very true. Very true.
everything going is falls back into who you are. That's the knowingness that everything, the only world you can ever know,
Yeah,
exists as an objectification in your own brain. The world, the stars fall through your synaptic gaps. Um, God, it's lovely to be human. It doesn't last that long, as you're well aware. Uh,
yeah. I'm trying to soak it up. Actually, I'm trying to soak it up as much as possible, so
um,
so I don't cry at my own funeral.
you don't cry at your own funeral. No, you'll take a deep breath and then just evaporates into nothingness. I'm on I'm not going to have a gravestone, but I said somewhere that I wanted to say it turned out all right or something like that.
Yeah,
It was uh, it was good while it lasted.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Every moment I get up and I have all the aches and pains that a 83-year-old have, but yeah, I get up in the morning and I stand up and I look around and I think, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can see the ocean from here, and we have
Oh
whales
yeah.
swim up and down the coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Um,
Humpbacks, no doubt.
oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cambria, California is Northern California.
It's right in between San Francisco and Los Angeles on the coast. Very little
Okay.
known area, below Big Sur.
Yeah.
It's beautiful oak trees, pine trees,
Yes. Yes, I can
rolling
picture it.
hills. It's
Yeah.
always 82 degrees, 72 degrees.
Yeah.
It's just paradise.
Oh, lovely.
It
Yeah.
truly is. I love you. I love the life you've led. I love everything about you. And this is as close as we'll ever get. Uh, and that's okay. It's close. It's mighty close. It's light. It's sharing light. It's sharing love. The more I know about you, the more I love you. It's funny, the hologram starts to
Mm.
shimmer and dance. I can see a young
Yeah.
man. I can see a middle-aged man.
Yeah, with his aches and pains, believe me, I'm paying my dues. My
Well,
God, I surfed my brains out and I dived. I was a spear fisherman, so when the
oh
water was calm, I would spearfish, and I used to dive very deep on lungs, and so I was very fit and everything. But it was like 8 hours a day out in the ocean diving, and when the waves were up, I'd be surfing about the same time, and the rest of
oh,
the time was getting there, sailing on my boat to the
yeah,
places to
yeah.
go, and it was amazing. But I'm honestly, my back is screwed, man. I'm now having to deal with compressed vertebra in my, my lower back,
Jesus.
and
Oh my
I
God.
get up, yeah, I get up like an old man. And fortunately, my beloved companion is very gracious with me, and makes me do my Pilates exercises and stuff. And
Ah,
I'm so blessed with the companionship of a person here that she's older than me, and we met
that's cool.
a year and a half ago, and the meeting was, I tell you, nothing less than magical. I had
Ah,
absolutely no idea in on earth what was going to happen. I was in a doldrums. I do quite a lot of tarot. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say to you, if you care to, I'd like to do a numerological reading. Just send me your birthday and your dates, and I'll give you
ah,
reading it, you'll be amazed. I use this. It's just the Grande Arcana, the big arcanos. It's just a characteristic of your DNA, as it were. And also there's another a reading which I'm not prolific on, but it's very interesting. It's called the Human Design System. In English, it's called the Jovian Archive, and it's this guy in from Ibiza. He just downloaded this most amazing sort of astrology with I Ching, with everything you can think of, a human design system that portrays your essential makeup, and
ah.
it's just an amazing map to recognize your self-portrait and your talents, and it's very. I found it very useful. It showed me amazing things that I could trust, just confirmed that I could trust within myself.
Ah,
But anyway, I'll share with you along the way, and
wonderful. No, I'd like
yeah,
that.
and
Uh,
and during the 2023, after the pandemic, I a lot of things happened. A lot of people fell for the masks and all that bullshit. But anyway, I also went through a very deep demolition, and I had an epiphany after that. And in the tarot that I was going to share with you, the card that was in full play of that year was death.
ah,
And the card of death, and I'll when you send me your birthday and your dates, I'll share with you your
okay. Do you
your
need
basic.
the
No, I
play?
just need just your birthday, no time or anything, just the day, and yeah, and I can
Uh,
do a numerological uh, interpretation of that,
Hmm?
and I'll send it to you, and you'll be absolutely amazed. I've never done it. It's never happened wrong. It's never happened wrong.
Ah,
Yeah.
March 15th, 1943.
Right. Okay. I'm bad on memory there, but just write that down in my messenger afterwards,
I
and
will. I
yeah.
will send it.
And that year, Michael, was the death. And in death, of course, you can't try and survive. You have to give in completely, you know. And I went through this amazing downfall, you know, where onlookers would say, "Oh my God, take him to the hospital or something. He's gonna die." And I really, there were days that or nights that I wake up, I thought I wasn't gonna make it. It was like a complete and utter um um I'm using the word in Portuguese, entrega, which is um what's the word?
Catharsis.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Surrender. Surrender.
oh, okay.
Complete and utter surrender
Uh,
to not having the forces or the comprehension or anything to retaliate against it.
uh,
And I went through the process. I gave in, gave up, and I started following literally as Bodhi Harma used to say so quaintly when they asked him about his illumination. And he said, when I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm thirsty, I drink. When I'm tired, I sleep. And when I want to go to the toilet, I move my sphincter. And that is about as simple
yeah,
as
yeah.
as life can be. And I was living it. And suddenly, one thing led to another, step by step, moment to moment, in total trust, which is not implying there was someone to trust. I'm just saying it was a complete state of trustfulness, you know, not happening
Mhm.
to anyone. And I just went, and suddenly this whole energy just drew me up into the hills here so effortlessly. And I go to a dinner with a friend that took me to, oh, there's a dinner with some friends. I went to the friend and I met up with this woman, and then there was
Oh, all right.
nothing going on. It was nothing going on. There was no intention. There was no nothing, you know, all this bullshit about gotta have intention. Bullshit, man, intention. No intention is the best intention. And and I met up with her and we met, and I'm living this life I can't believe,
Oh
man. I've
my.
got everything, man. I've got everything, and I'm making projects, and I'm feeling totally in a sacred harmony with the sacred male and sacred female, where you know
Oh.
where you feel, as you well know yourself, I'm sure, with your
Mhm.
beloved, you know, when the woman feels she has a man who supports her femininity, and
Yeah.
vice versa, when we as men feel we have the feminine support, you know, kindering and nurturing
Yes.
us. You know, it's the greatest blessing there is, man.
Oh, truly.
You know, to be
Yes.
human, like you were
Yeah.
saying.
We're not designed to be alone in our
Yeah,
physicalness. Yeah, I love being in love. Uh,
yeah,
she's I I don't know what it would be like without her, but one of us will find out fairly
yeah.
soon.
So, yeah, something will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you know,
Wow. Oh.
do you know? Have you heard of Sailor Bob Adams?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, well, I'm good friends with him and Kat as well, and who also lived in Brazil during a time. So we had great talks together and stuff. And when Bob was alive, because you know he passed, no?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, when Bob was alive, we had great talks, and I was going through excruciating pain with a surgery that was badly done on my eye and stuff, and I had like amazing pain for years and years nonstop, and it created the most horrendous doldrums
Oh.
and exhausting. Yeah, it was, but anyway, suffered and I survived it. Um, but one of his sayings that I used to love um, is what's wrong with now if you don't think about it?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's his probably his most famous his most famous saying. I know several people who have followed him. I didn't attend one of his talks when he was alive, but I know quite a few people who in Australia who have studied with him, and I've fallen in love with all of them. Um, Yeah, it's always falling in love. Um,
Or rising in love. Is it not rising in love? Or she used to say, we're
yeah,
not falling in love, we're rising in love, you
rising
know?
in love. It feels more like floating,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
floating in love. Um, yeah, this has been lovely.
yeah.
What a joy you are.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Vice versa.
Uh, we can't see our own beauty, which is one of those Greek tragedies, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can see your beauty. I can see a person living in Brazil who's vibrant and exciting about life, and it's so beautiful.
I'm making a little sling because I don't really have any guns or arms in my house and stuff. But one has to be aware. I'm totally with Trump for arming people and stuff. I think it's a must, otherwise the governments will do what the fuck they want with us. But I'm actually making some bamboo slings.
Nice. Nice.
Bamboo slings. I got lots of pebbles around the house, and if anyone invades my territory, which I do consider mine,
Of course.
uh,
Of course.
I
That's
will
your
give him I will give him a slingshot pebble in the middle of the forehead. You can be sure, man. So that's my love and compassion. That's how I share fire.
well, you're a man. You're designed to protect a woman.
Yeah.
That's who you are. I grew up in Wyoming and full of our house was full of guns. I could shoot any gun at any age I wanted. And I still have guns. I just am comfortable with guns. My wife is not. And
Yeah.
I can understand that. But
Yeah.
I can't fight the way I used to. So I want to
Yeah.
protect. And so I'm comfortable with guns. They don't bother me at all. Uh,
Oh, right.
it was a rough and tumble fist fighting world I grew up in. And like you, I've been hard on my body. I was a carpenter for years, and that's hard on your
Oh,
body.
brilliant. I'm an artist as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw I saw I saw I don't watch much TV at all, but my beloved was watching a series called what was it called? The follow-up was Yellowstone with Kevin Costner, but
Yeah.
first one was Savage American. It was a series of the Far West, the story of the
Wow.
Far West. Wow, wow, wow! What amazing um, narratives and paragraphs. Oh, it's worth watching, I tell you. Actually, I found a place where one of the blonde girl, who's the daughter of the family that are going across the states and running into all the Navajo and the Sioux Indians and the beautiful. I love the Indians and their culture,
Hmm.
and she has there's a series of texts that I posted somewhere where amazing text. Like there's one part where a bandido, Nana Bandido, kills her new boyfriend, and she gets up and shoots the guy and says, "I don't know if it was right or wrong, but I gave myself the freedom to find out." you know, yeah. And I just thought that was wonderful. And it's full of these anecdotes, full, and chock-a-block. And I realized that the American story, the history of America, is a really bloody
Oh
scenario.
God,
And,
yes. Oh my God.
God, man, oh,
Yeah,
you know,
it's bloody. Uh
yeah. And they did the same thing in South America, man. We have places here where the Indians were decimated
oh yeah.
and stuff. It's disgusting, man.
Yeah,
It's
all over
really,
the world. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the way it's been s-
yeah.
beginning. They think they know of 13 hominids, human-like creatures that have been wiped out, probably by other hominids. But they think that we wiped out the Cro-Magnon men, um, and also interbred with them. They found out.
Oh, wow.
Um, but it's been bloody. It's territorial. It's you look at medieval Europe. Um, look at Europe now. My God, there's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
everywhere in South Africa now they're killing white farmers. Oh,
yes,
geez.
yes,
It just goes on and on and on.
yes, yes, yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
Croatia, Serbia, Jesus,
Yeah.
everywhere. But that's the way it's always been. That's the way it will always be. Um,
Well, I'm not getting on a plane going anywhere now.
no, no, no. Well, it's. I think when we open our eyes to the human condition and embrace it
Yeah.
all, you know,
Oh, really?
you're safe in your mountains. Your life is full, and what more could you want? What more is
Yeah, I don't really see any happiness lingering on a golden carrot on a horizon somewhere. You
no?
know, I'm so happy I did all the globe trotting and sailing around
Really,
the world and stuff. I did it when it was meant to happen, and
not true.
now I'm just satiated, you know.
Satiated. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
beautiful young woman with those beautiful bodies. You wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, no, 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 no. And I've had a few,
It
and
would
I,
be
I was just,
hell.
yeah, and I was just thinking, oh my God, man.
Yeah. Oh my
Ah,
God. Yeah.
no.
Thanks.
I'm happy to say I've been through the woman thing, the whole
Yeah.
woman thing. I was
Oh yeah.
excruciatingly in love all the time, and I'm
God,
glad I
yes.
burned that one out, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be
Yeah.
somewhat
Me too.
somewhat beyond the lustful thing, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the passion. I lived the passion
Yeah. The
completely.
passion will always stay. I think the lust will always stay. It's part of being human. But
Hmm.
I think we embrace everything, whatever it is. We say hello. Like Rumi says, it's just a visitor, a temporary visitor, just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
just the brain playing in itself. I'd love being. I love thinking I'm human. I love life. I love. I love.
It's great, great stuff for stand-up comedy, isn't it?
Ah,
I've been
ah.
thinking if I find a profession in my life, which I'm pretty much not into. I've never worked for anyone, and I don't plan to. And at this age of the game, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I would do stand-up comedy because it's just everything's so fucking funny. It's such a cosmic joke, you know, to
Yeah,
realize,
it
you
would.
know.
It would be a pretty tough crowd, I think. For
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Joel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some Brits that I really still enjoy, like Life of Brian, Monty Python, Billy
Uh,
Connolly. You know the Scottish guy,
oh,
Billy Connolly. He's
oh,
hilarious, man. Yeah,
oh my
he's just
God, they're funny. John
so
Cleese.
outspoken. John
Yeah.
Cleese, yeah,
We had a store in town for many years, and John Cleese came into the store one time, and also Jonathan Winters would come into our store. And I don't know if you know Jonathan Winters or not, but
yes, I think, yeah,
American comedian.
yeah,
Uh, they're just funny. They're funny people. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
When I wrote a letter to Osho once, about 3 pages long, and I was going cuckoo with my whole mind. Of course, it's supposed to go cuckoo with a mind, but
Mm.
and he wrote to me and he said to me this. The first paragraph was, "Seriousness is a pathology.
Ah, his pathology. That's true.
Seriousness is pathological." And I've never kind of forgotten that in my most dire moments of taking things seriously, which I do occasionally. Occasionally, it does happen. I do get pissed off with
Oh, well, everyone
new
does.
world order
Oh,
and
yeah.
and and
Yeah.
now the WHO, the goddamn WHO have done behind closed doors like everything, the new pandemic scheme
Yeah.
for
I mean,
taking over health. And I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I'm so glad that Trump is against it. God,
oh,
great. God help him, man,
oh,
to
God. I
to
think,
to to
yeah,
step on these guys.
we were headed to a dark place with Biden.
Good God, man. It was going crazy, man. It was
Oh,
going really dismal, man.
it was,
I'm so happy for that, man.
and they
And I hope he
almost
inter. Huh?
elected Kamala Harris, which
Oh,
That's, oh, that's
man.
strange.
Un Unbelievable. I can't, I just, oh my God. I hope the interview, I'm just keeping my ears open and eyes open because we're about to go under a total tyranny of social media being cut down from Mr. China helping out there. And you know
Oh,
how
yeah.
proficient they are on doing spying and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And we're about to be under that. And so, you know, we're using VPNs and everything to try and get Rumble and information and Telegram and stuff. But the man, it's a nightmare. It's on the verge of a nightmare. I'm really hoping that Trump screws up this false judge that we have here. He's a total
I do too.
psychopath.
I hope so too. I love what he did with South Africa. Nobody
Yes,
nobody would have the courage to do that but Trump.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love the whole thing. I truly
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
ever read Jan Cox? Did he ever cross your path?
John Cox?
Jan
No,
Cox? Yes. No. No.
no, no.
He was one of those incredibly interesting people, kind of on the outskirts. He started off as a Gurdjieffian and then he left that and found,
Yeah, yeah, me too. Gurdjieff was a bit. Yeah, I loved his insights, but yeah,
yeah, some insights, Blavinsky and all of that batch.
yeah, yeah,
Tried
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like you, I tried everything.
yeah.
Uh, it's
Oh,
nice.
do send me a link of this John Cox. It'd be
Jan,
wonderful.
Jan, Jan Cox, yes.
Jan, right?
Jan.
Okay.
I'll send you he's dead now.
Oh, I
But
see. Okay.
yeah, but his writings are still available. A lot of good stuff, but yeah, wonderful. Wonderful talking with you.
Okay.
This has been
Yeah, you too, my
pure
friend.
delight.
Wonderful. Absolutely. I'm
Ah,
really, really amazed with our merging,
yes.
merging.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is. It's light on light. It's
yeah,
love on love. It's just quite
yeah.
good to see
Really,
you.
really. Yes, you too, my friend. You
Ah,
too. Okay. Love you, brother, and
I love
all the
you.
best.
And all the
You're most welcome to post it if you can,
well,
if you think if you think the swearing will be allowed.
oh, yeah, I don't mind. Sorry. I grew up in this. I try to stop because my wife doesn't like it. But
Oh
my
dear.
yeah, I started swearing when I was very little.
Oh, it's wonderful. It clears the throat. It clears the throat. The chakras, they shine when we.
Clean the chakras. Oh my God.
I'll send you
Oh,
the. I'll send you the Osho's fuck discourse. Have you seen that
yeah,
one?
fuck. I've heard that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you heard it. Okay, okay, that
Yeah.
was one of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Outrageous, outrageous,
My
brilliant.
wife can't even say it. She tried.
Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear, oh
Oh
dear.
dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Listen, my
What?
friend, I love you.
Okay.
I
Yeah, you too, my friend.
You're precious.
Oh, you lovely. You too, my friend.
Uh,
Cheers.
cheers.
Au revoir and aloha. I
Hello
love
in
the
Portuguese.
Polynesian. No, aloha is Polynesian, ne?
Right, oh, right, but in Portuguese it would be
Oh,
what?
Portuguese would be
Would be
what would be I don't know actually. What as a be a saying goodbye.
yeah,
Um,
maybe they don't
oh
have a word for goodbye.
no, we normally say grande abraço, which means big hug,
Big
or
hug.
até mais, until soon, or um, uh, yeah, yeah, big
My
hug. Yeah,
my son and grandson are in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and they
yeah, Grace
work
Jiu-Jitsu.
out all the time.
Yeah,
They wish they could speak Brazilian. They love it so much.
yeah. It's very difficult. It's very different from the Portuguese.
Ah, is it really?
Oh, very different, very different. The Brazilian Portuguese is, in my opinion, much more, much more, what's
Hard.
the word? Yeah, arty and singful and, like Italian is
Yeah.
graceful and stuff, But the Portuguese it feels like you have a potato in your mouth. It's got like it's a bit stuffy, you know?
Yeah, stuffy. Oh my.
Yeah, a bit stuffy. No, Brazil's great, man. This country is fucking amazing. It's still amazing. It's so huge. It's so huge that I believe. Let me tell you something about Brazil very quickly, just as an end off. One of the reasons I love this place and I don't feel like going anywhere else in the world, which I actually can't see any place in the world being safe to go nowadays, under the scrutiny of all these psychopaths. Um, if the Italian mafia didn't make it in Brazil, then you know this place is the right lawless place to be.
My goodness. Yeah. They can't get a foothold, huh?
Because you can't control it, man. It's just too big, too wild, and there's too much freedom
Oh my.
around that,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but I don't know. People are waking up. People are waking up, and the Bolsonaro, who's our president, ex-president here, is being completely shadow banned, and because he is so popular, and the guy is he's really like a Trump figure. He's amazing,
Nice.
a good man at heart. But you know, the genius of sociopathic engineering that the lefts did in Brazil was absolutely incredible how they architected it. But they convinced the most ingenuous of people that the fascist, that he was the fascist, that he was the Nazi, that he was the, and it's the other way around. It's the other
Yeah.
way around. The lefts are the Nazis. The left are the sociopaths. These are
Yeah.
the guys that are, you know,
Yeah.
are raising the flag of socialism and have nothing to do with socialism. Absolutely, they are communists, absolute communists, and just
Right.
rigging in, raping money, laundering everywhere. They're the biggest criminals I've ever seen, man. It's unbelievable. And 90% of the friends I have are his followers because they've just
Social.
completely duped, man,
Oh
you
my.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But
a huge leftist thing over here. The colleges, the education system.
yes, that's what they've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
anyway, I don't know, something. I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, Sasha Stone. I don't know if you've ever seen his movement. He's a wonderful guy, an amazingly rich story, and he is just totally out there. And I'm sure you'll know a lot of people that he mingles with. I think he's in doing a tour in the States right now again. And I'll introduce you. I'll send you some links of his Lazarus movement,
ah,
and his talks on the rebirth of humanity are absolutely delightful, on
ah,
human sacred geometry. The guy's a genius. He's absolutely a walking pineal gland, and I've had great talks with him. I tried to do something with him here in Brazil at the time, and I'll send you some links of his talks. I mean,
okay.
you should meet the people on board with him. Absolute delightful conversations of the highest niche, the highest level you can
Wow.
imagine, and
How
I'll be happy to share that with you.
wonderful.
Great,
Wonderful.
lovely.
I love you. I love you.
Right, you too, my friend.
Yes.
Aloha.
Alo- Aloha is perhaps the best word of all.
Yeah, aloha. I love that word. It's greetings, it's farewell, it's
Yeah.
full
Hello.
of the bouquet of flowers and
Yeah.
happy dolphins jumping and all that.
Surely. Surely.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers, cheers, man. Okay, au revoir.
Au revoir. Oh, okay. End meeting.